That would be me.
Look who we're hanging with.
Brian O'Halloran.
Jason David Frank.
Humberto Ramos.
Please do not change channel.
All right, welcome back. Thanks for logging on and tuning in. If you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe. That way you can keep coming back over and over to hang with us and our wonderfully talented and creative guests in the arts and entertainment world. I am Allyson Murray, and right now we are in Lafayette, New York at the studio of Live-Sense8 Podcast, and we are hanging with host of Live-Sense8, Sheila Applegate, and co-host Zac Hansen. Thank you so much for hanging with us.
You're welcome. Hi. Glad we could be here. Glad you could be here.
So tell us about your podcast and your topic, Sense8.
All right. So the Live-Sense8 Podcast is about the show, the Netflix original series, Sense8. Watch it on Netflix if you haven't already. Only on Netflix. And it's about, Sense8 is about 8 people from different cultures all over the globe, in different belief systems and sexual identities and moral dilemmas. So it's about 8, so many different differences between these 8 people, and they start waking up into each other's consciousness. They have these telepathic experiences, and it's very confusing at first. So that's the premise of the show. And the Live-Sense8 podcast is about diving deep into the messages and the struggles that humans in modern day times deal with because they're portrayed in the show. And Sheila and I, we like to dig really deep and talk about those.
Okay. How and what was your inspiration to starting a podcast, and why did you choose Sense8 as the topic?
Well, I strong-armed Zac. I had been a radio host for a while before, and I love the Wachowskis and the consciousness message that they've been bringing forward. And when they nailed it with Sense8, it became a backdrop for everything that I've taught in my 20 years of teaching higher consciousness in various ways. Through my book and my program and all the different things that I've done, I love the idea of putting it in this backdrop because it is so mainstream, it's down to earth, it's something that people can relate to, and we can just discuss the concepts and people can accept them if they want them.
Mm-hmm. What for you was the most difficult process or part of starting and maintaining? Because how long have you been doing this? We
started in January.
January 2018.
So it's not
relatively
been
new.
Okay.
And we've had a lot of success for sure. For me, I think the hardest part is actually getting through the agents to get some of the bigger name stars onto the show. That's the
toughest,
big,
isn't it?
But we've had a lot of great stars. We've really been blessed within we've only been doing this for a couple of months, and we've had a lot of the supporting actors, big supporting actors on our show, and we recently met a bunch of the actual cluster, is what the 8 are called, and we got a lot of yeses to be on it.
We did.
And we heard that they already knew about our show.
To Martin Earhart, because he was our first guest, and that was the synchronistic event that led us on this wonderful journey that we've been able to meet so many awesome people.
Oh, that's great. Do you have to do a lot of research? Do you specifically only talk about Sense8, or are there other things that you talk about too?
We do. The research we do depends on if it's a cast member or crew. We've had the sound editor, music editor on, which was amazing. We had to do some research for that because we really didn't know about music editing. And then usually it's learning what the cast is doing now, if they're going to be on the show. And then also just reviewing the show and going over and over. We watch the show a lot because there's single lines that are amazing in the more we dive into it, the more we realize it's a masterpiece. So we take those concepts and then we relate them to the teachings and things that we already have been working on. And yeah, mostly that's it.
And the show's really unique, I think, because it's about living the Sense8 life is what we call it. And the Sense8 life is the concepts that are portrayed, the human struggles and triumphs, and just how to be more joyful, right, in life, and accepting of yourself and other people. That's really diversity and acceptance of humanity. The brotherhood of humanity is really what the show's about. So we actually spend quite a bit of time, if our guests are up to it, and we talk to them about what's important to them, right? So it's a platform for our guests to come, and we really dig in deep with them so they have a chance to voice their slice of living the Sense8 life. And we've had some remarkable things presented on the show.
Wow. What's the most crazy thing that's happened to you on the show?
Well, not necessarily on the show per se, but because of the show, we were able to make it to Chicago for a pre-screening of the season 2 final episode, and we were able to hang out in the VIP area, and we got to meet Lana Wachowski and the writers and Mr. John Toll. He's known for cinematography. So, and Brian and Toby and Mumby and Ethan Stoller and Dave, like we just met so many people and had a great time, and it was a really amazing reflection because we've talked to so many people about the show, and the Wachowskis set the stage for what happened. And they're very, we'll say, family orientated. They love to work with beautiful people, and they do, and this was just a reflection of getting to firsthand experience everything that they put together.
But the craziest part, what he's leading up to in his long-winded, our show is pretty long each week, which you can tell.
So when we walked up to Lana Wachowski and I said, Lana, this is who we are, I was quite taken back. Lana takes a step bow and she gives us a bow. Sorry, she takes a step back and she gives us a bow. And I was just like, holy cow. And it's just a testament to how they give back to the fans and to the people that help them create the magic that you see on the screen. And then we had hugs and words and had a great time. So.
Oh my goodness. That's so nice. It makes it so worth it, what you
Absolutely.
do. It really does.
Absolutely.
So I hear that you're an author.
I am.
Too. So tell us about your latest book here.
This is Enchanted One, The Portal to Love, and it came out before Sense8, but there is an infinity sign 8 in there, so there is something connected way back. But it is a combination. I've been known as a channel for the Divine Feminine and others, but primarily the Divine Feminine. This integrates Isis and Magdalene's messages that came through me, and then it weaves together my own life experience of integrating those into my life. Because as a channel, when you're still in the path of learning, you can bring forward the messages, but it doesn't mean you're ready to live by them yet. Now I'm a little more integrated, but back then when they came through, it took me 10 years to master the lessons that are brought through. So it's the journey of that.
Oh, that sounds like an interesting book. So you also are a spiritual reader and teacher. So tell us about that. Have you always been, what is the word, psychically?
Adept.
Yes. And, is it something that you,
Yeah, I certainly wasn't raised that way, but I have come to realize that what I thought was normal, other people don't. So I would say yes. There's one memory from when I was little, and I shared a room with my sister, and I said to her one day, you know when you leave your body and you float around the room? And she said, no. Like, oh, okay. So there were some indications along the way, but I did study. I do believe everybody can do what I do, and I've committed myself to teaching people how to do that. So our project, Consciously Awesome, is a program of my life teachings and how to practically live the way I do, connected to spirit and bringing it into your relationships. It's really about being practical, because it doesn't matter unless it's practical.
Right. Right. Great. So where can people find you and your podcast?
All right, people can find us on Live-Sense8.com. Our Twitter handle is at live_sense8. We're most active over there. And if you wanted to send us an email, you could send us an email at team@livesense8.com. And we also have a Patreon account. Awesome. It's patreon.com/livesense8. And over there we have exclusive perks with extended episodes from our guests. And we also have some classes available as well, amongst other things.
Fantastic. Where can people find your books?
You can find the book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, or any place that books are sold.
And enchantedonebook.com.
Oh, yeah, and my website.
Very good. Do we have time for a game? We have time for a game. We like to play games.
All right.
I am known as the game girl. We are going to play Never Have I Ever. Have you ever played?
I have not.
Oh, it's a fun one. It's basically like Truth or Dare without
Okay.
the dare. So we're each going to pick a card, and we're just going to answer the question, have I or haven't I? And hopefully not embarrass ourselves too much. Oh, gosh. You want me to go first? Never have I ever had sex on the first date.
Once you see Sense8, you'll be like, okay.
That was a telling answer. Never have I ever burned myself at home with a waxing kit. That has not happened.
But he did have his first pedicure with one of the stars from
I did with
Sense8.
Maximilian Ewald.
Aren't they awesome?
It was.
They're
I was
addicting,
actually
I gotta
really
tell ya.
surprised. It feels good.
It does.
So mine is, never have I ever gone straight to work from being out the night before. I really haven't. Unless you mean out of my body. Sometimes I'm up all night in the other realms and then I go to work in the morning. But
I have done that when I was a kid, but do we have time for another one? We do. Harry just loves to watch his mama embarrass her.
I think I know what's going on here. She was embarrassed and we weren't. So she's like, let's try this again.
all right, I'm going to plead the fifth. No, actually, I will be straight out. Hear me now. Never have I ever had sex on the hood of a car, and I have. That was random.
I guess I'll go next. Never have I ever done a sexual favor for money or drugs. Not that I can remember.
Never have I ever snorted wasabi.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's just not a good idea.
I have not done that.
Not on purpose, anyway, right?
Well, guys, once again, we've had a blast hanging with Sheila and Zac today. I am Allyson Murray, but before we go, we would like to give a very special thank you to our partners at Krypton Radio out of LA, Famous Faces and Funnies, Off the Chain Radio with Yvonne Mason, Space Coast Comics, Asylum Convention Entertainment Services with Heather Reed and our great friends at Summon Unique Magazine. These are the folks that share our videos all over the World Wide Web, and we hope you will too. Don't forget to hit that like button, leave a comment, and let us know what you think of today's show and our guest. You can also check our guest links below. Remember to subscribe, log on, and stay tuned to see who we're hanging with next. Awesome.
Thank you.
That was fantastic, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.